it's something that if you put yourself around people that make you better, this guy makes me better daily, and I'm very grateful for that.
You said something about Ilya, about the fight, about having expectations. And you said you don't have any expectations when you fight.
Yeah.
That way you don't get thrown off.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, my expectations come from my hard work. Obviously, I expect my body to perform. I understand that I've trained my mind to, and, maybe the narcissistic tendencies in me love showing off and performing in front of, thousands of people on that stage. That's what I love the most about this, and that's what my personality. Like, I'm very competitive. I want to win, but I'm never going to lie to myself, and that's how I've never had a coach in my entire career since 4 years old of wrestling have to pull me aside and talk about the mental aspect of competition, because it's always been so natural to me. I'm not sure if it's because they see that I'm doing good and that they agree with my approach mentally, or they don't understand what's going on, but I've just always been so comfortable and so content with my situation of, this is a competition, it's a game. I'm very competitive, I'm very petty, I take everything personal. And yeah, when I go in there with I have gone in with expectations, and I said it before the fight, Ilya, like, I said so many true things to him, and I think it's such an asset to tell someone the brutal truth, especially someone like him, because it pushes them farther away from the truth. Even if I tell him the exact truth and exactly what's going to happen, and you're making a mistake by having all these expectations, and when we go to round 2 and when we go to round 3, and it's not going as you predicted it or wanted it to or expected it to, then I have gone in with expectations, and I said it before the fight, Ilya, like, I said so many true things to him, and I think it's such an asset to tell someone the brutal truth, especially someone like him, because it pushes them farther away from the truth. Even if I tell him the exact truth and exactly what's going to happen, and you're making a mistake by having all these expectations, and when we go to round 2 and when we go to round 3, and it's not going as you predicted it or wanted it to or expected it to, then where do you go from there? And I said that exact thing to him, and then that pushed him farther away from it. And
it's almost like you wanted to prove you wrong.
Yeah, he wanted to prove himself right.
Yeah.
And he was unwilling to be open to opinions, and because obviously I don't know him, he knows him better than himself. But I got here because I am coachable. I got here because I listen. I use every like I posted yesterday. Every person, place, or thing that has happened to me or for me has ultimately molded my mind and my body to be able to deal with the situation that happened on Sunday night. And I can pull so much experience from the past, my losses, my wins, setbacks, failures, accomplishments. I mean, there is so much to learn from it. Every day is a learning experience, and I constantly try to learn and be better. And I don't know why I'm able to perform like that. I think I just think it's who I am. When I say I wanted to be the most exciting fighter ever, it's not that I wanted to be the most exciting fighter ever. The thought of that was fucking cool to me, but I was just being me. And I've been blessed to be able to, through my childhood, through coming from a small town, through having, unwavering support from my family and my friends and my coaches and my teachers and everybody from, it's just crazy to be able to come out on top. I mean, it's just crazy.
One of the things I think was a giant factor in the fight is that you have been in wars. You've been in a bunch of wars.
Yeah.
And Ilya really had only had some rough moments against Jai Herbert. Yusuf Zalal gave him some problems, but it was nothing serious. The wars that you've been in, these just down and dirty brawls that you've been in, you're comfortable with the back and forth. You're comfortable with enduring. You know that you're not going to break. You know, if your body holds up, you're going to keep fighting and you can endure. I don't think he'd ever experienced that before. So when you didn't break in the second round, and I think he made a mistake, and I think you're correct about that. You said he made a mistake by going to the ground.
Absolutely.
And then he hurt you to the body.
I told Trevor yesterday, I think, you know, him
No,
hurting
it's
to my
key.
body was the reason,
must
one of
fail
the
before you
main reasons I won. You know, when he hit me, when I dropped, it wasn't the first time he hit me in the body. That was probably like the fourth or fifth one, and he had landed some really clean shots, and he could probably sense that I was in trouble and hurt, and I think that fact made him dump everything because it was his last chance to take me out, and he almost did take me out. But when I went down, in hindsight, it's always easy to make these decisions in hindsight, but when I went down, you know, he's had way more submissions than he has knockouts. And so for him not to have that belief that he's going to be able to go down there, especially with the Khabib fight, especially with the Charles Oliveira fight, especially with all the negativity around my grappling, you know, I think he would have been foolish not to, because I would have stood back up. And he would have charged forward, tried to finish me. I would have jumped on his legs. I would have pulled guard. He was going to end up on top of me no matter what. I wasn't going to sit there and trade with him again. Like, I would have, you know, front rolled into grappling situations or whatever. I would have made him cover me. But I think me getting hit is what made him completely blow his, you know, Shane Carwin-esque, you know, blow his tank.
Yeah.
And, you know, go for the win. And I think that was the choice he had to make because it was going to continue to get worse. I beat his ass in the first round. Like, it might have been close on the scorecards. I absolutely took the first round, but the amount of damage that I inflicted in the first round set up the rest of the fight.
I do think it was a mistake, and you're saying what you're saying is so correct, but what I'm saying is from a standpoint of him demanding it, he's going to finish you in the first two. Understanding the damage that he was taking, he took big risks. He got in there. He kept his hands on your collarbones. He was landing really good shots. Yeah, the two body shots before that left hook to the liver, that the sound it made was crazy. That last one was clean. It was precise and deep, but you could tell it was already there. But if he didn't put that pressure on himself, and this is what I mean by mistake, is like when you come out, you have to know that you're going 5 rounds. And he knew that he had to unleash everything right there. If he would have been smart in that scenario saying, hey, we got 5 rounds, let me step back a little bit, let me do some damage. But also he's like, hey, let me get you out of there quick. Justin, you know, can't grapple, can't do all these things what a lot of people think, which Justin's a great grappler. And what was so smart about you is when you get tired, that's where the worst decisions happen. That's one of my big things as coaching is we get someone tired and then we make them make bad decisions and then we capitalize on those mistakes. Justin was able to stay so composed here with being speared to the body. And when you take a liver shot, it is way different than the headshot. A headshot's like taking a shot with your buddies at the bar. It's like, hey, let's go. You know, but you take a body shot, you're dying. Like your liver shot, you feel like you're dying. And Justin, all the decisions he made on the ground, from the triangle, from the arm bar, from not being flat, so many good decisions were made in that scenario, and I do think it was a mistake. Obviously, there's so many different ways it could go, but those type of moments in fights are what make fights great, is overcoming obstacles. And he had set that up. He had said it. He's like, hey, I'm going to overcome anything. I'm going out there to put the worst thing out there. Like, what are you going to do to me? I've already been knocked out the last second of a freaking huge fight by Max. Like, you can't do nothing worse to me. And that mindset, I think, is something to take away for all the fighters out there. That always, I love how you say it, expect a war, always. Some of the biggest mistakes that I've made with fighters that I had is allowing them to think that they're going to go through this fight easy, and then that fight becomes super hard. You think it's going to be a war, then you're like, hey, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, even if it was a little bit of a war.
They're not going to help them in that moment.
Yeah.
There's no pulling them out.
That's fighting. Fighting is mentality. I look at this like there's techniques out there and there's things like that. What makes this sport inspirational and makes someone that want to go out there and beat cancer because they were inspired by a fighter, it's not the technical piece. It's getting back up. And it's okay to get knocked down. I love watching people get knocked down because my favorite part is seeing how they get up. And that to me is why I love fighting, is how people get up.
Yeah, how they endure. And that was the big story of that second round, that you figured out a way to get through it. And the change in tempo in the third round was very obvious. Because the sprint that you have to make, like what Ilya did when he was trying to finish you, that he used so much fucking energy. And the great Chael Sonnen once said that if you try to win by knockout and fail, you won't win by submission.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's the case because you know as good as anybody, if you fucking sprint it hard, you wail on the bag with fucking everything you got for 2 minutes, and then they go time. 1 minute's not enough. It's not enough.
No. Even in preparation.
Even 2 minutes. They
Even
feel
2
tired
minutes.
after
Yeah,
2 minutes.
that was crazy
Even
too.
in
That was
preparation,
crazy too. We'll talk about
preparation
that.
for these fights, like I'm doing 20, 30, 40-second sprints at most. I mean, that was a 2-minute sprint for him.
Yes.
And
Full
there's-
out. Full
and
out.
there's
Full
no-
power. Everything full power. Every punch full power.
You can't even train for that.
Can't. You got to
Right.
have spots.
Right. And he didn't. He was just unloading. I mean, that's a young man with a tremendous amount of confidence because he's a 2-division world champion and he thinks he's going to go down as the greatest of all time. And hey, he might still.
still could. It
He might
depends on how
still.
he comes
What
back,
is
yeah.
he, 28?
The
29.
odds are fucking great against that right now.
Because of that loss?
I hope he does.
I hope he
I
does
hope-
too.
I
I
hope
hope
he
he
does.
does, and I know that he has the skill.
But
I
that's
know
hard to
that he
overcome.
has the skill to be a champion again. However, same thing with Tony Ferguson. I didn't break Tony Ferguson's confidence.
What night's
I changed the perception of his opponents of him. And that is a huge factor when you go in there. Like, who are you fighting? What do you figure? You know, before this, he was a guy that you couldn't get through, that you couldn't push through, you couldn't survive with. And once I showed people that all you gotta do is get through that, then nobody's ever gonna go in there with thinking that he's unbeatable now. You know,
Right.
and that was his identity. And, you know, that's gonna be such a tough task for him to fight people that aren't scared of him.
That's interesting. That's Mike Tyson in his prime. That's Anderson Silva in his prime, where the fight was lost before
Ronda
he even got
Rousey.
in there. Yeah,
Oh,
the fight was lost before he even got in there.
Well,
Physically, now I don't know what the truth is, but all these reports are that he has 2 fractured orbitals and a broken nose. Just that alone, just the orbitals alone, like anytime you've got eye injuries, like anything severe with your eyes, long-term consequences vary. You know,
It's psychological.
absolutely.
And
Your
physical.
body heals.
And physical.
The
I-
body is resilient.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm telling you, I
broken
had a
bones make stronger bones. Like, that is his orbital bones will be stronger.
It
They will
depends
be
on where,
calcified.
though, Justin. The orbital bone, I had my orbital broken.
that would
and
not be your orbital.
for 6 months, I do this and my tooth would move. And it's right where my sinus cavity is. You remember when you hit me with the spinning elbow?
Your tooth would move,
Dude,
when you push
right
on
here,
your cheek.
and my tooth would move.
Oh. Summer is great, but it
Holy
also comes with a lot of chaos, travel, and spontaneous
Imagine that,
plans.
pushing
So
out of
make sure you're taking extra care of yourself with AG1. It's a simple daily health drink that replaces your daily multivitamins, probiotics, prebiotics, adaptogens, and more. Plus, AG1's ingredients are sourced from quality partners for potency, purity, and nutrient density. AG1 is clinically shown to close common free morning.
And you broke both orbitals and the nose.
Dude,
like I
have
do
you
believe
ever
the body
seen
is resilient.
Marab's? You ever
Like,
seen
yeah,
Marab's
yeah.
nose?
Yeah.
You ever seen the X-ray of
Yeah.
Marab's
No.
nose?
No.
Did I send it to you?
It looks
Jamie?
like a spine because it's been broken.
Dude,
He's got
it's-
33 vertebrae
No,
on
actually,
his nose.
I mean,
It's
I've had
literally fucking crazy.
I've had
us out
3
there
broken
while we were
noses.
sitting
I've
there
had it
doing
fixed
that.
twice.
This thing bottling.
Yeah, I know you had it fixed.
That
You know,
shit
this
sucks.
is one.
Orbitals
There
suck.
it is.
Orbitals
That's
suck.
Marab's nose.
Oh my god.
Oh
Holy
my god.
smokes.
I mean, that's
That looks like a long cocaine binge right there. It took out the whole fucking left side of his nose.
that looks like you
Holy-
got hit with a sledgehammer.
Y'all want to
I mean,
see
That's
that-
crazy.
That nose is crazy.
That is crazy.
That is like, and to fix it, he's going to have no contact for like a year.
Yeah, that's hard.
And so he's not going to fix it.
Yeah.
He's just going to deal. Look how turned it is. I mean, the bone.
I've had my eyes fixed and my nose fixed, and my nose was better for quality of life.
oh, the
Like,
nose is a
obviously,
big
being able
thing.
to see was huge, but when your nose is broken, like, you have to understand, like, getting a haircut fucking sucks. You can't breathe through your nose, so your mouth's open the whole time. You're constantly breathing in fucking hair. Like, there's so much.
Being at the
every
dentist
time-
and they ain't using the
every
suction
time
thing, you're
you-
choking.
Every time you eat food, like,
That's funny.
there's something missing.
Yeah.
Sleep. I wore a nose strip to bed for 10 years now. You know, and
He
now
used to
I'm
have a
used to it.
scab, a permanent scab, because I peeled that thing off all the time.
Yeah, my nose is used to it now, but yeah,
you
losing
got
your
it
nose
fixed-
is insane.
when you got to fix which fight, was it before the Max fight?
Yeah, right before the Max fight.
And then you could breathe out of it perfectly.
Yeah.
Is it still good now?
Yeah, he broke it, but he didn't fuck with the cartilage. He actually fractured the bone up top, so I didn't have to get it fixed.
It's another factor that when we were talking about the fight, and people were talking about this matchup with Ilya, I said you have to think about what he did to Fiziev. Fiziev is a super talented striker. And then you also have to think about the Max Holloway fight because he was pressing in the first round, but he got caught with a jump spinning back kick to the fucking face. And when that's a game changer. And it happened at the end of the first round, and from that it changed the tone of the fight because it was just dead on. It was perfect.
Yeah, and
couldn't have landed any better. And
the truth of the matter is psychologically I was not there. I was not prepared mentally for the fight when I fought Max Holloway. It was such a different circumstance. It was, a guy that wasn't in my weight class. It was a guy that I'd never thought about fighting. It was for fun. And the whole experience was so different than any other fight I've ever had when it comes to like being mentally prepared for a fight.
What do you attribute that to? Like what was
myself, my
and us. Like we told him to take the fight. He didn't want to take the fight. And then we told him that you're going to keep the title contention fight because that's what they promised us. That's why he was very
every one of you was like, oh, something was different. It was like, well, why didn't you guys fucking say something before the fight?
You told me afterwards.
Tell me after the fight.
Dude,
like I knew something was different, but like I needed to know.
He tells me afterwards. He's like this. He's like, I just didn't respect him, and I'm like, how could you not respect Max? And I didn't catch on to it. So it's like I'm always looking for flags and things like that. And 100%, I take 100% responsibility because that's how we learn. Everybody makes mistakes. I remember the Tony Ferguson fight. I didn't give any fucking water. Like there's like things that we all learn from. But the thing when he had told me that, I'm like, how did I not catch that? From you, because he's like, dude, he was a smaller guy, just didn't, and I was like, dude, Max is like one of the guys that I look up to from the outside. Like he is talented.
I remember thinking, what am I looking for? Like, what am I afraid of? I kept trying to convince myself that I needed to find what I was to be worried about, and I couldn't find it.
So you always need that before a fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter who it is, you're fighting.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and so like I've never been as present and like I've never been able to retain a fight, and I before the knockout I was there, like I was in the arena. I saw the lights, I saw the people, I heard the people. Like I've never been there in my life, and I think that I can attribute that to me not being scared, and so me not being in a real
what's up, brother?
Fight or flight.
Appreciate
real life or death situation.
Yeah,
so
situation.
You weren't fully focused. You could actually hear the crowd.
Yeah, I could hear my thoughts. I had thoughts. Never had thoughts in a fight because I'm so intuitive and reactionary. And that one was just so different. There was so much, and so sure the kicks, the eye pokes. No, I think I couldn't have beat him that night with the mentality that I had, and that was my last lesson to learn. I had made. My lessons with Oliveira was like I wanted it so much. I wanted it so bad, and I wanted to perform, and I wanted to impress my fans. Rose had a fight that night, and she fought like absolute garbage. And I told my coach, I was like, Coach, don't worry, I won't do that to you.
He said right before we're about
to walk, I was like, don't worry, Coach, I will never let you down like that. And coach is pissed, and everyone's, the locker room's all fucked up because Pat's fucking weird.
Is that the Carlos Esparza fight? Was that the same night?
Yeah. And I was at home, and so there was and that was my fault. I allowed those things to affect me.
Right.
And to, affect my fighting decisions. Rather than just being myself.
How you doing, Jack?
And so that was a huge mistake. Another mistake was, winning 2 or 3 times in a row and just kind of becoming complacent with how serious what we do is and how dangerous this game is and how much luck and chance are a factor every single night. And so, I wasn't doing the extra credit. I wasn't sitting in the sauna at home. And I don't know why. It's just, and I made that mistake probably into the Eddie Alvarez Dustin Poirier fights, lost, and then I won 3 or 4 in a row, and then I completely went back to the same mindset of I'm the best in the world. Nobody can beat me, and I paid for it. And those 2 mistakes were huge, very, very big learning lessons. And then the Charles Oliveira fight, I was like, I wanted it so bad, and then I made the moment so much bigger than it actually was because it's just 25 minutes in time, and it's all I can control is being perfect, my preparation for it, but then ultimately being there for 25 minutes and being perfect. And yeah, those are the mistakes that I made. I had to learn. I had to make those mistakes. I would not change anything about my career. I think the farther back into my career you go, the more special this moment is. And, I think in time, again, this is going to age like my career is something special. The way that I did it, the way that I lost, the way that I stayed on track, the way that I, threatened retirement if I wasn't going to get a title shot, the way I called my shots along the way, and the discipline I had. I mean, it's second to none. I've watched this sport my whole life. Since 1992, my dad showed me. I remember as a 4-year-old seeing it. I don't have a lot of,
Listen to this. 4 years old.
memories. I remember my childhood, but it's not like you have specifics. But I remember seeing it for my first time in my dad's bedroom. We were sitting there watching it together, and I was enthralled. I was
He
like,
said,
"This
"That's
is
what I'm
this
gonna
is
be."
amazing. I love this
Can
shit."
you picture that? Him with like a baby bottle just squeezing it.
Yeah, and I was
Dude,
like,
I
I
just
fucking
picture it
love
like I'm
this.
a
I
visual
love it.
type of
And then
guy,
I watched
dude.
it, and I was a
That
diehard
was so
fan.
funny.
I've
Always
been a
funny to
diehard
take
fan
a
ever
scenario
since
or
then.
situation and
Especially in
put your
2001 when it
things
came
in.
along, I was, probably in 7th or 8th grade, 6th or 7th grade, and just fell in love with it. And then, me and going into college, we'd go and sit at Buffalo Wild Wings for 6, 7, 8 hours, spend $5. Those poor service people.
$5.
It's just amazing that you've been able to keep this ferocious mentality for so long. Because I remember when you first entered into the UFC, the Michael Johnson fight, I was so pumped for it because I was like, get ready, because this is going to be fucking wild. Because I had been a fan of yours when you were fighting in, what was it, World Series of Fighting? And then that Michael Johnson fight was everything that I thought it would be. Fucking crazy. Just a wild-ass fight.
Crazy coming out party.
Dude, I giggled so many times in that fight. Dude, when you went against the cage and you were like this, you like look back and you were like, oh, I'm looking for the shot. And you're like blocking off the thing. And then you come back with the right hook and then you let it back in again. And then you hit it with the right hook again off the cage. Dude, there's so many giggle sessions in there. I wasn't nervous because just, again, that's the way he fights. And I'm like, no one's going to forget this fight.
Michael Johnson was swinging, too.
I caught him with that left hand a few times.
Well, that's the same left hand he knocked out Dustin with.
His left hand is so fast.
It
is
fast.
so
That shit
fast.
is
And Michael has power.
Yeah, he
Shit
does.
is
Yeah,
fast.
dude, and he was trying to win. I mean, he was going all out. That you guys just emptied out in that fight. It was fantastic, and I was like, there
Dude,
it is.
The 3-rounder to get off the backflip took 3 rounds. He got up there, fell off, got up there, fell off. I was like, you can do it. I'm out there motivating
I
him. I'm
always
like,
get so scared for your knees
Dude,
when you
oh
do
my
that. I'm
gosh,
like,
dude.
please don't hurt your knees after you won the
I'm
title.
100%, baby.
Hey,
I ain't missed it yet.
We're training for Khabib. And we're over at high altitude. He's doing backflips off the
Cage.
the cage. And I was like, stop. Do this after the fight.
Yeah, he's
And
like, hey, no more back. I was like, today's the day.
Dude.
Today's the day I become a bitch. Like, today's the
I'll
day.
never forget that moment. I
He's
was
like, you know what?
I turned
Fuck
my
it.
head. I was like, stop. Go ahead.
That is
Let's
kind
do
of
this.
true, right?
Dude,
when
it's
you
mentality.
get something and all of a sudden you're special, then you start protecting it, and then you won't be special anymore.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is
Right?
what makes
That's
him who
why
he
I
is.
told him. I was like, so today's the day, huh?
He's fucking crazy. Like, I never want him to stop being fucking crazy. Like, everything about him in life, when you play golf with him, he's the highlight. He does shit that, like, you'll never fucking see. Like, it's like everything you do is the highlight. Like, his life is like his fighting. He's fucking wild.
So your mentality, you've never had to work on. I mean, obviously you've learned lessons along the way, but
I'll
you've
share
never
something.
had to like sit down and work on this mindset. It's always been something you inherently possessed.
Yeah. I think
It's crazy.
Crazy
people.
thing, crazy.
I think people just complicate things so much. Like, when you can truly understand that there is things you can't control, but it's not everything. You can only control what's inside of you. You can only control how you perceive things, how you react to things.
The
And
work you put in.
the work, obviously the preparation.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, there's so much, and I guess I always knew that something was coming, because no matter how far off the road, like I've made mistakes. You know, I've done. I was never thank God I was never an alcoholic and never. But I could say I was probably a drug addict at one time in my life, and
What drugs?
I don't know. I have never told my parents about this, so I don't know.
You don't have to.
All of them. All of them. But it's and I know this is gonna sound stupid, but so I went to school for human services. I wanted to help people. A big part of that is helping people come off drugs, and I lost over a handful of friends, really close friends from drugs. Where I come from, we're not far from Mexico, and we had the best. We had the best shit coming right across the border before it ever got cut up, and it was my life, where I'm from is very boring. And so like you chase, again, we have it so good in this country. We're always trying to create chaos in order to feel something. And I guess that's what I was probably doing. And in college is when I really, I was like, if I'm going to help people come off of drugs, then how can I ever even try to understand if I don't know what they're chasing? And so that was a part of it. And also a part was felt good. And so, once I did certain things, I knew what people were chasing. But then I always knew that something was bigger for me and better for me.
He said that.
And I had something to do. And so that was always, it was never a crutch for me. I was always like, that was awesome. I'm not doing it again.
What is it in your head that where you always knew that you had something bigger?
Well, probably my faith. I mean, I've been, my parents, the best thing they ever did for me was make me go to church every single Sunday and create a relationship with God through the word of Jesus Christ, and just trying to live up to those expectations. I knew, not that I was going to be a champion or anything. I just knew that I couldn't take the easy way out. When you're on drugs or when you're living a lifestyle like that, then nobody expects anything from you. Nobody wants anything from you, and that's an easy way to live.
Right.
There's no pressure.
No expectations.
No expectations, no pressure. And I mean, it really is, I can understand how you can let that overcome the passion to live, and I don't know. I just think the passion to live because of my faith has never outweighed my desire to feel good.
I want to talk about the shift that you made in your career from being the most exciting guy in the world, wanting to be the most exciting guy in the world, being happy with performing to the best of your ability, whether you win or lose, to wanting to get the belt. What started that decision?
It's weird because I don't remember a time or a day where I made a change other than I'm not going to get hit. In the Dustin Poirier fight and the Eddie Alvarez fight, I absolutely almost broke them. And it was no different than any of my other fights. Nobody had just ever, same with Ilya, nobody had ever got past it. Nobody had ever been able to withstand the ferocity of my actions for 2 or 3 rounds. And then those guys did. And I was like, what happened? And ultimately I put myself in a position and I got hit with a shot that took me out of the fight. And so after those fights, I was like, I have to not take these shots. And that was ultimately all I can say that I changed mentally is I don't want to get hit. I used to never care about getting hit because it's like, it doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts in there. You don't feel nothing. It's never hurt. And so that was really just the mindset. I was like, I just need to not let them get me in a predicament where I'm not able to, where they have to stop the fight.
So the shift,
but he probably from the outside source.
Yeah, it's definitely there was a shift, and it wasn't just like an instant shift. It was the 2 losses in a row with Eddie and Poirier, where he's like, I'm winning these fights, and I need to be able to get to the distance. And I was like, all right, we got to become a spot fighter because you just drown people, and what's happening is you're making mistakes. We threw a low kick against Poirier, and he got caught because he based back lazy with his shoulders above his hips. So I was like, all right, let's be sharp. Let's fight in spots. Then he goes on a 3-fight win streak where he's finding the right spots and putting people out from Vic to Barbosa into Cowboy Cerrone. Then that's where he's like, and then I sat down with him and I was like, do you want to be a champion? And I was like, this is how you have to fight to be a champion, is be smart. And he never said he didn't want to be the most exciting fighter anymore. He would tell me after fights, he's like, I'm not even trying to fight excited, but look at me. And it's it's so amazing. Like, it's in him. It's just, how do we get you to sprint 50 yards, pull back for 100 yards and jog, and then sprint for 50 yards and like be able to know your red line. Don't cross over that red line. Don't hold red line.
Well, that is again the experience that you found in wars. It's it was so critical in that White
he
House
could do
fight.
it, but
yeah,
we don't want to make mistakes.
And it is. I think it's crazy. I think again, the fact that they said that he had outstruck me in the first round, 39-32 or something.
Like
you landed some hard jabs.
Yours were devastating.
He
might have touched and skipped on.
But I'm talking about the perception.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm getting hit.
It did.
It looks like it's but I mean, I don't have special skin. I am able to see punches. And
roll with them
and roll with punches. If you watch my fights frame by frame, I'm not getting hit for the most part.
You're moving with the punches.
Yeah. It's be like water. Like I'm constantly, and intuitively making these calculations.
That's the scoring. That when you see that, I don't know
Damn,
who's counting that, but that's like amateur
much.
boxing. Amateur boxing, if the white glove touches you in the face, even if it's not a clean blow, that's considered that's how you judge.
Yes.
And that's where, Justin, I think, where you look at it from a point system, you can't just look at the screen, and that's why judges can't look at a screen and go, oh, this guy landed more, this is who won.
Right.
You had the damaging blows. I
out
think
of
everybody
it.
knows that. Like, I get it. Like, I see the way you roll a shot, I see the way that you fade
That's
off
not a judge.
and allow the
That's
shot
illegal.
not to go through your skull and deflect it. It still gets touched to you, so it's considered that they landed that shot. But the damage is like what you do to people by the way that you hip through, that you drive through people is so different. Like Justin hits. Unlike any, I still think to this day, we got to ask the UFC, but they did a test on him to see who has the hardest bones in the UFC. He had the hardest bones. Dude, he kicks me, and I'm just like, dude, I'm so glad. I feel so bad for Luke Cadillo.
He don't let me kick him anymore.
God, dude, Luke Cadillo just takes
let me tell you
He has
something
his
about
pad
Luke.
on. He has his pad on. I kick him, and his nuts swell up.
Dude, I get blue balls, bro.
And so I
Dude,
can't kick
there's
him
a
no
nerve
more.
on the inside of your leg. I talked to a doctor about it because I'm like, bro, like he kicks people and they bruise on the inside of their leg. And it's because the shock through, but there's a nerve on the inside of the leg. I'd go home and I'd tell my wife, I'm like, babe, I got fucking blue balls. And she's like, from who? And I'm like, Justin. She looks at me like, the fuck you got blue balls from Justin for?
One of the things you were doing early in your career that I always thought was so wild was you were leg kicking people from a collar tie. Like you were a leg kick, and
Base
I
them
was
down.
like, "Oh my goodness!"
Make
I'm
them
like,
put weight
"How
on
come
it.
no one's doing that?" Like you were one of the only guys that I saw that was doing that. That was from the clinch, was leg kicking. You've got some fucking flexible hips, man. Because the way you were able to do that from like right in tight like this, and not just
You pull
throw
him
the
to it.
leg out,
You
you're
pull-
whipping into
Yeah,
it.
he pulls them to their lead leg, so he's making a base on that knee. And then it's just like you got to
is
stump in the
better
ground, and you're just trying to bend that tree.
Yeah.
You know, and man, he's very good at that.
Let me tell you something about Luke, because I got into the octagon right after
so
you
what I'm
won,
doing, guys.
and Luke and I looked at each other. He was like,
The best, dude.
So during that time, I mean, yeah, I'm listening to this because it's very interesting, but also I'm building out tools right now that I need for this startup engineering firm. But we've gotten most of it already. It's just like every now and then we still get a situation, a unique situation. And so just now I took a bunch of shop drawings from a metal building that we're looking at and had a 3D model just created. I haven't checked it, but I'll check it. And it automatically created the 3D model of it that I'm going to be able to send to the client, which he needed it very bad. But I'm not even going to have to charge him. I didn't take, you saw what I didn't do a whole lot for it. So I'm going to just send it to him because he needs it. Isn't that cool? I'll get back to it.
He's like, dude, he's like, Joe was so he's like Joe was so pumped. He
happy.
hugged me so hard.
He was so
Dude,
happy.
he's
He
the
was.
best.
It was
You know, he pukes.
amazing because seeing all those videos and knowing he's in camp with you all the time and knowing how much he
He's the
loves you,
best. I freaking love
watching the happiness that he had
Yeah.
when you won was fucking incredible.
No, Luke is one of my really, really good friends. He
Pukes
was,
every time before a
even
fight. Every time,
Before
dude.
Trevor was in my corner, Luke cornered me. He used to go to Arizona with me. I had no coaches. I would just do it in between, in between wrestling seasons. And yeah, he would go down there with me and just wrap my hands, and he would just be there.
Wow.
He's amazing. One of
What
the
a-
best human beings on
what a
earth, dude.
ride.
Yeah, I love that man.
39.
Hey,
What
did
a
you tell him
ride.
about the Sunday?
Seems
So the
right.
Sunday before the
Oh
fight.
fuck!
So there was one time, I think it was
Oh,
in
shit.
the
That shit was
cowboy fight where you were pummeling with Ben, and he'd finish with a low kick on Ben every time, and I'm like, stop kicking your coach. And he looks at me, he's like Trevor. He used to drag me back on the mats. He's like,
Yeah, he
I'm
used
gonna
to
kick. I was like, all right,
fuck
cool.
me up.
You
I
guys
was
got
like,
that?
just give me this
Dude,
give me this
so-
opportunity to beat his ass.
So we go golfing, Joe, and I'm
Sunday we go golfing. The Sunday before the fight, we get there Saturday. We go golfing Sunday, and it's a Sunday. We never work out on Sundays. And Luke and Ben got fucking pickled
On the golf course.
They each had like 3 very, very, very stiff Bloody
Marys.
Marys. Luke bought like 12 beers
Dude,
because
it was
we
the
got
best.
there and they're like, "Hey, everything's on the president," and he's like, "Fuck yeah, I've never heard that before. Everything's on the president. I'm gonna drink." And so like hole 10 or 11, Trevor's like, "Let's fuck with them. Let's tell them that we're gonna work out later." So
Well,
I'm like,
we're gonna work out, but I'm telling
I
them
didn't-
they're gonna be the workout.
I didn't know we were working out. I had no fuck.
Dude,
I
we're
thought he
fighting on
was.
Sunday. We're definitely
I
working
thought he was
out.
fucking with me. We're out there golfing. It's hot as shit. I'm sweating my ass off. I had no idea we were working out that day. He's like, "Let's fuck with them. Let's tell them that we're gonna work out." I was like, "All right, cool."
So I told him I was going to text him and give the
Johnny,
workout because
thanks for hanging
I'll
out.
lay out the workout for everybody. And I told Luke he was going to go 3 rounds of sparring, full on sparring,
And
and then
still
Ben's
real
got to
estate.
go 40 minutes straight, no breaks, just grappling, not wrestling, just grappling.
And they're fucked up.
Dude, and I told Justin, and I was like, all right, let's fuck with him, see how he is. And dude, instantly, before I didn't text it, we just started talking about it.
What are you
So we're on the
doing?
way home, driving home, and dude,
What is this?
Ben is like, dude, he's like, I'll just take you down. And he's like, I asked him, how many times you going to take him down? As many as I
Many
want.
times I want.
Dude,
He's like 40
Description
minutes.
of,
Let's go
like,
60
60.
minutes.
So they went 20.
Probably,
Dude, you got, 7 submissions on your coach. He
Sorry,
drug
it's
him
late
back
my
on the
time.
mats. It was so funny because I was like, dude, you got to drag him back on the mats because I got to witness this.
It's funny because I got a video.
Dude,
I
it was
went.
the
I went.
funniest
So
shit
we get
ever, dude.
home. I go down, take a nap for like 2 hours, and they just stay drinking. Upstairs.
Talking shit
And
while they're drinking.
my
dude.
YouTube guy filmed everything, and they're just talking so much shit how they're gonna fuck me up.
Luke was good though. Luke was like, he was
Yeah,
trying to stay out
Luke's
of it.
been through it, man.
Luke's like,
Luke
you really
knows.
gonna say that? Like, Luke
Yeah,
said
Luke's like, hey, I ain't saying any of this. Not me, it's him. But they're making a plan how they're gonna team up on me. And so
Oh, it's
it's
one of the
funny. Then,
funniest
then you
things
got
ever,
the
dude.
video there, and I'm beating Ben's ass. Oh, no, actually, I went with Luke first, and
Yeah.
I was fucking him up.
and Luke's punching Ben because Ben won't jump in.
And yeah,
'cause
so
Ben's like, sees the
Ben's like, he's like, what the fuck, Ben? What the fuck, Ben? Now's the time. And he's
it was
asking
so
for
awesome.
help, asking for help. I beat his ass, and I did
We
it
have
to Ben
fun for
too.
sure.
Yeah,
It
it
was
looks
great.
fun.
Great coaches. Our whole team is just everybody's so dialed in.
Yeah, that whole week is one of my. Every time we go, that whole week is
That's
one of my
awesome.
favorite experiences.
You were using the sauna in between workouts as well.
And before.
And
so we were.
Nothing. That shit sucked. I say it was perfect. You say it was perfect. It was not.
was
It was
hard.
detrimental to our
Outside?
performances. Yes.
Yeah.
The humidity was there. I didn't realize it because obviously it's not. It's not something I can worry about right now. But after round 1, I just remember thinking, "Oh fuck, I am so tired right now. How is this possible?" And the amount of fluid I lost was.
Thank God
I
it wasn't
probably lost
hot.
like 15
Yeah, I know.
pounds.
because it was in the 70s.
Dude,
Yeah, 70s with the cool breeze. You know, when you go out there,
Yeah.
what you feel is the cool breeze, but
Just
in
heavier,
the,
though.
in the fight, man,
Heavier.
it was different.
Yeah, I hated the fact that it was going to happen, but I'm glad it did.
yeah, me too.
I would not change. Again, I think
How could you change
it
it?
affects me. It affects him. You know,
Right.
I
Right.
grew up in the country. He's
I'm gonna give you
a
some
city boy.
files.
There's no
Please
way he's not a
package it
city
up,
boy. I don't know him personally,
create
but
the
there's no way he's
email,
not
and,
a city boy. You know, and so
yeah,
as a
create the
country
email,
boy
package
from
it up. Oh,
the
and
desert in
create
Arizona, like I was
instructions for what
hoping
is
that it would be
to try
Hot
to
as fuck.
find
hot as fuck. Yeah. Like
when he
Catch up
sat
videos
down on
on
the
how to
stool,
use
I
it
was like, oh
and stuff
god,
like
these
that.
outside fights
how
kill
to
me.
get this file
Yeah.
You know, he was.
uploaded.
Dude,
yeah,
he
after
was,
round 1, they're like,
tremendous.
dude, you were shaking.
Dude, he was like trembling. I was like, holy shit.
Well, it is crazy to ask people to defend a world title in a completely alien environment that you never have fights in. We've had how many fights outside? We've had the Abu Dhabi fight in like what was that, 2000 and
That
fucking
yeah.
9 or something like
Yeah,
that.
Poirier
No,
fought.
they didn't. What was the setting? I wasn't there.
It was.
When Adesanya did his famous walkout in like it was covered, but
Yeah.
It seemed like the environment was outside
Poirier getting against
in Abu
Khabib.
Dhabi.
So
No,
the
in,
first
in
Abu
Abu
Dhabis,
Dhabi,
were they
In Abu
outside?
Dhabi.
Well, we did one in Abu Dhabi when BJ
the big arena.
lost to Frankie Edgar. That was outside in Abu Dhabi. And that was when Anderson Silva fought Damian Maia.
Is that
was
with the
outside.
Ferrari building?
The Ferrari building was there, but I don't know if it was in
Yeah.
the same place.
Did they have a fight in the Ferrari building?
I think they did,
Yeah.
but I wasn't there for
But-
that one. I only went to one of the Abu Dhabi fights.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Remember we were
Like, I
talking
would
to
say
the dude in
within the
Morocco.
last 7 years.
Remember
okay.
the dude in Morocco said after the first round he was done. He was just trying to survive. He said it was so hot. Remember?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I remember it being
Yeah.
over there, and then once you realize the climate over there and the humidity, it's like
Do you remember
it doesn't fucking matter.
Bodog? Remember Bodog
Yep,
fights?
Bodog fights. Yep.
They had a fight outside in the sun
Yeah.
on the beach.
Caesar Palace in Vegas. Remember Caesar's Palace? The boxing. We got to fight there. Verno Phillips
When
against
they fought for World
Kasi
Series,
Muma.
Yeah, that's
outside.
right. They used to always do
Caesar
it
Palace.
outside.
World Series of Fighting around that NASCAR event.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That wasn't
Duran
outside.
versus
Yeah, that wasn't
Hearns.
outside, no.
Duran versus Hearns
Yeah,
was outside.
they were great. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's right.
For-
At least Vegas is dry.
yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Arizona, Vegas,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah, humidity was what I was training for with him was heat stroke. Like dealing with it where you can't breathe, it's heavy air. Like
So were you putting water on the rocks in the
Oh,
sauna as
absolutely.
well? And,
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
so what was
and
the
we trained in a hotter gym. I'd turn the temperature up in the gyms just so he's getting used to dealing with a little bit more heat stroke.
We would spike my heart rate, and then I would go in the sauna 15 minutes, and then I would come out and do
then we train.
8 to 10 rounds.
It was great. I'm so
Smart.
glad we did it.
very smart, because that environment is, it's so completely different. I just ultimately I think the best way to fight is obviously the way you usually fight,
Yeah,
in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
It was cool though, Joe. You know
it
why?
was so cool.
So we went and did a rehearsal, okay? And I'm like, why are we rehearsing a walkthrough? Like, this ain't a freaking wedding. Like, just tell us
Right.
where to go. The camera guys are always like, all right, your mark,
Yeah,
here's
I'm just
5,
following the
4, 3.
camera.
So why are we doing this? And then we go there and we get stuck in this locker room for 2 hours
Hour and a half.
because of rain. And thank God that happened because then I started to go, because it's all unexpected. And how Iliad said, hey, I'm a visualizer. I can't visualize this arena. And I visualize a lot too. So I was like, I felt the exact same thing when he said that. And that's when I knew, hey, these are going to be some huge unknowns. And I had told him that night because the rain was coming. Like, it was crazy how the storm split around because it was all bright red. I was like, this is thunderstorms. This
Yeah.
ain't just. And
they were talking about pushing the fight to 10:30 p.m.
we had planned on fighting at
start
like
of the night.
Yeah, 2 in the morning was
I
what I
started
was planning
staying
on.
up till like 3 a.m. after the rehearsal. I was like, it could be
Yeah.
3 a.m. when we fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to just start staying up.
But that's what was cool. Like the walkout, like having the soldiers, like just walking through the soldiers, there was that. We weren't able to take any of this in, Joe. And I can't really speak for him. I know where
couldn't.
his mind's up. I couldn't, from a coach's standpoint. I was nervous as fuck because you don't know, there's no pattern I could take on right now and kind of put myself and breathe to it. It was very unique. And at the end, I couldn't even really smile. It was just like, dude, I'm just like blown away. Now I can kind of just look around slowly and just try to take in everything because it was very, very hard to go through that scenario with the pressure of us fighting on this stage at the White House. We're the Americans. We're a 6-1 underdog. That gets to you. That when you hear that over and over and over and over, it's you
Oh, you
think,
connected
here you go.
your phone.
Oh, dude, you
grabbed
caught
your
one.
phone.
You caught a marlin. But having
Take a left.
just that scenario was so unique. And then once it was over, then it was like, now I get to enjoy the White House and just being here in this
look at
great
that scene.
environment.
There you can see it. What is he reading there? Is that the Declaration of
Yeah.
Independence?
Yeah. So we weren't in the room with him right there. We through the rehearsal. Yeah.
How crazy
we got
is
to
that?
take a look. It's crazy.
He's in the Oval Office, stepping out.
And then all the soldiers walking through, so cool. Like having the 2 guys next to him.
And a lot of people complained about this happening at the White House. But you don't think this is cool?
This is
Like,
dude. It's
how
fighting.
how could you not like this?
This is
how could
fighting.
anyone not? This shouldn't be taking place at the White House. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, life is a
This-
fight. World is a fight.
This is
Like
incredible to watch.
inspirational.
It's a wild thing to watch. By the way, how much gold did Trump put on those
Dude,
walls?
it's
Look, he's
crazy,
got
dude.
gold everywhere. Look at these fucking gold designs.
When we were at the Oval Office, first thing I said is I was like, this thing is small as hell. Like when I see it on
Right.
pictures, it like seems so big, and I was like, but the gold pieces on the wall is the first thing I was like, they dust that shit every day because Dude, it was so clean.
Well, he put that up there.
Really?
None of that was there. None of that was there. He was explaining it to me. There was no gold. I wanted to have gold. He's got a gold cherub, like a solid gold cherub that's above like one of the doors. He goes, if Putin comes, hopefully it doesn't fall on his head. It's like he's got gold everywhere. It's all him. He redesigned a bunch of the things in there. You know, he's a builder, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he wanted to do the ballroom. That's why he wanted to keep it, you know. He likes everything in gold. He's a gold guy.
Was that Austin Powers?
Bro, we were just watching you look at the Declaration of Independence before you walked out, which is also wild. Like, this is never going to happen again. This is more historic than Rumble in the Jungle, more historic than, I mean, think about all the great fights that we've all watched as kids that were like, remember that? This tops everything because of the scene, because of the fact that not only is it at the White House, but the American, who's a 6-1 on some books underdog, pulls it off in spectacular fashion. And just the seesaw of the fight,
The back and forth.
The
That's
back
what
and
made
forth
it.
of the fight was fucking huge because
it's
the
huge.
second round was crazy. It was like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's
And
gonna
letting it go on
Yeah.
again when so our corner, all the coaches were like, dude, they're going to stop it. And I was said out loud, I was like, please let it go on. And I just wanted to finish like a
definitive ending.
Dude, because that would have been a point where it's like, especially with him going, hey, I want to go and continue. And then we have Goddard come out and say,
Thank
hey, you are.
God for Mark Goddard.
Yeah.
Okay, because if it wasn't for Mark Goddard, if another less
He
experienced
wanted out.
referee, you think he did?
He wanted out.
Yeah.
You know for a fact you do not ever as a fighter say I cannot see. It's over.
Right.
And he was counting on that. He said he had already stated it. He didn't need to say it again. He did not think they were. I don't think he thought they were going to.
So you
back
think
out there.
that he called Goddard a turkey internally? He was like, when he said, oh, you're going to
No,
go fight, he was
I
like,
mean,
hey, I was playing
in that
though."
moment, he just like I've done. You know, I've tried, and it might have been like the little devil on his shoulder trying to get him out, and then he reevaluated and rethunk it and understood that he had to keep fighting.
Did you say thunk?
Yeah,
Thunk it.
he said,
Rethunk it.
Dude,
that's said it
a
all
But
the
I
time.
think I mean,
really? That's a real word?
I stopped
No.
him. I stopped him. I
I
stopped.
was like, oh, shit.
I stopped him twice. I stopped him twice that night. There's no doubt about it.
That's
I loved it.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
This episode is brought to you by OnX Off-Road. Ever wonder how to reach these epic mountain lakes? They're tucked away, dispersed campsites.
Did he say?
With
you
OnX
say
Off-Road, you'll find legal open trails.
Like, first law.
Backflip in
Dude,
front of the,
the double.
fucking white. I was like,
pretty funny.
of course.
Oh,
And that roaders. Fourth round, which is fucking OnX Off-Road for 50% off. Go to onxmaps.com/Joe Rogan. Well, it was a big factor that Goddard let it go on because then we got to see that epic fourth round, which is fucking crazy, which was just in the end when you landed that knee to the body, that was like the final.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
That was it.
And
That
then the
knee to the body
punches
was
right where he
nasty.
landed that heavy knee that he just starts chopping it where he got the elbow in.
Yeah, and then he has to quit on his stool. And if Goddard had just given to that referee or that judge's or the doctor's rather desires, here it is.
I love how you punch right here, right on the spot.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw.
right there. Yeah. Oh, right where I just lay. Oh,
Yeah, he did not like that, and that was the end.
Seen that stuff.
Crazy
Ouch.
fight. I mean,
It's crazy how different. So again, being a fan of the sport, I've got to watch. I would have usually watched this from, and yeah, it would have been the most fucking incredible thing ever. Being the fighter, you're really not appreciating any of that because you're so
You're in the
locked
moment.
into. It's like golfing, like you don't know, but golfing is like certain swing thoughts, and nothing else can come in, nothing
talking
can creep in. And so, me looking at the Declaration of Independence, I was looking at it, but I didn't take it in as this being the Declaration. I was just sitting there. I was like, okay, gotta reset his feet, gotta control, gotta move left, can't get against the fence, And then those are the thoughts I'm having through the whole walkout. And so I'm really not taking any of it in as the show, or as the theatrics of it.
of course not.
Watching it in hindsight, obviously, it's fucking awesome.
There was something special about you warm.
through the whole walkout. And so I'm really not taking any of it in as the show or as the theatrics of it.
Of course not.
Watching it in hindsight, obviously, it's fucking awesome.
There was something special
Yeah,
about
it
you
is.
warm.
That was some good TV. They're doing that.
By that at this stage. Why do you think they're surprised?
Because it doesn't look like that.
No, Justin, I think you're looking into the Patty fight. I feel like the Patty fight, because a lot of people are like, oh, you look older, you look this, because the way we fought, like our game plan, the Patty fight.
How sweet is that now? I mean, if you watch the Patty fight, you would only expect punches coming from here.
That's
all I threw.
Because he would pull.
Yeah,
with
and
his body,
I had to like wrangle him in. And this guy, no shot
like
came
palm
here.
strikes. Like we need to palm strike him. We need to keep him inside of our loop. And if you're throwing straight shots at Patty, Patty will disengage very, very long with his upper body. So he was throwing wild shots and then long uppercuts. Like stay on the outside when you're throwing the uppercuts because Patty's got very good knees coming in. So we can't get too deep with the head. Very simple plan, but it was like make it chaotic. As most chaotic as you could be to be able to do that. Because Patty, his blitzing was very fast. He's a very good blitzer. He'll blitz past you and almost like running type of punches like old Vitor Belfort. But this fight is a lot different where it's now elbows in. We have to be tight in these types of positions. And we need to step to his center and get on his back foot line or outside of his back foot line. And that was like a key factor to this one is because Ilya is very front heavy and will bounce back and forth. So once he goes to this angle, we need to attack the rear shoulder. And once he starts to reset, now we're going to be able to jab. And stick the jab at the rear shoulder where your jab was landing. There's my favorite part is the jab wasn't landing here where Ilya's got a very good slide. We're jabbing outside, so you're not doing inside jab coming under. You're jabbing from outside your shoulder, which is pushing him on his rear foot. And then once we started to pressure, my favorite part is the jab, pause, right hand. His left foot, Justin's left foot, when we go, has to be outside his rear foot, like right there. He opened his lead foot, and he got his foot outside. And that's also so in case the right hand counter.
That was a giant moment in the fight when he landed that right hand.
Dude, the sound of it was crazy.
I wanted to sub his ass.
Boom. Yep.
Oh, that was such a hard shot.
Do that one more time, Jamie, and watch his lead foot after the jab. Now watch his left foot after the jab. Outside the rear foot. Boom. And that because he's got a high shoulder. If I'm throwing a right hand down this point, if you were looking at me, Joe, if I'm here, if he gets his foot out, now the shot is coming from here. So we're able to put him on the back foot and find that over. Because Ilya's got a very good shoulder tuck.
He also dropped that right hand down.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And it was such a giant moment in the fight.
Like, look where I started. I started with my back to us, and look how left.
But if you go out to the left, backwards, that's where Ilya, to me, is the best. How we stop Volk, where he'll throw at you, and then you go, and then he readjusts his lead shoulder almost to a southpaw. Super dangerous there. That was one thing we talk about. We cannot go backwards to the left because that's where we get square. And Ilya, dude, he's very front heavy, so he will attack you quick. And he gets there fast.
Well, if he can recover from this, it's going to be a big lesson lesson learned. And, I wonder if he'll still have those celebration dinners the night before.
There's no way.
He better not, dude. His team. That's up to his coaches, to be honest with you.
It's amazing. Hubris is an amazing thing. Like it, people love that kind of confidence. They love that belief in themselves. And when someone pulls it off, people were talking for days about the Oliveira fight. He celebrated the night before. Isn't that crazy?
And it worked that time, and it played out great for him.
But the lack of experience being the nail. So much experience being the hammer.
It's just
and
the
also,
expectations. He never thought he would have to be here.
But you keep saying, I wanted to go back to this thing that you said, that people don't think you're athletic. And I don't agree with that. I don't understand why you think that.
I mean,
and maybe he watches the Michael Johnson fight.
Even when
doesn't think you're athletic.
I got to college, my freshman year of college, and I did a cartwheel to a backflip, and one guy was like, I would have never fucking guessed you could do some shit like that. Like, I just don't understand. If you look at me, I don't look like an athlete, but...
Dude, you won a Ferrari.
No, I know I'm athletic. I know how athletic I am. I just think the perception...
No. Your perception's crazy. Listen, you look like an athlete. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, he sent me this picture when I first met him. he went up to do a clinic with his coach up in Granby with Ben Charrington, and he sends me this video out of nowhere. I open it up, and he's got a soccer ball, and he's in this auditorium with the pads down on the ground, and he's got his phone set up on the pads that are against the wall. He throws a soccer ball up in the air, and he does one of those bicycle kicks. He played just like 1 or 2 years of soccer.
gainer.
He did a bicycle kick, landed on his feet, and the ball knocked the phone off the freaking thing, dude. He hit the freaking phone. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, bro, you are nuts. This guy snowboarding when we snowboard, because I rode professional when I was younger. Got taken out of high school for it. And this dude, he would catch things so fast, and his tumbling. There was one time we were watching him, and he was in moguls, and moguls suck on a snowboard. He does this 360, catches his edge, falls to his back, and bounces off one of the moguls to a backflip right back into the moguls. And dude, these people on the side thought he meant to do that shit. They were like, dude. I was like, bro, his tumbling skills, dude, you're freaking nuts. You are an athlete. I think everybody knows you're an athlete.
Well, you're not built like Paulo Costa, if that's what you mean.
Yeah,
It's like you're not. There's guys that have less body fat than you, and guys have more prominent muscles than you, but nobody looks at you fighting and doesn't think you're athletic. That's crazy.
I think it's the experts after the Patty fight saying, oh, he looks sloppy. And some fights got to be sloppy.
Those people are retarded.
Yeah.
That fight looked like chaos. Looked like you were going to press him, and it also looked like you were kind of disdainful of his ability to hurt you.
There you go.
No,
You know exactly.
Yeah, once I didn't respect his power, I was like, I'm fucking walking through.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like. It looked like you were just trying to make it as chaotic as possible.
You make it sound like you had like a water boy, like someone was like, the water sucks.
Yeah.
And he's like, making the noises. Dude,
No.
you don't know.
But that's also probably a good thing that you think about yourself that way, because it forces you to rise above and beyond anybody's expectations of you. And I think one of the things about this fight that makes it so important is because Ilya was so dangerous, you had to get like deep in the zone. You couldn't have a moment like the Max fight.
The Max fight got me here. Without that, I would have never been as hungry. I said it was going to happen, and it didn't happen. Then it happened, and it's like, okay, now I can never let my parents see me like that again. That was a driving factor. Like, I can never let my mom. I remember getting knocked out. I don't remember getting knocked out. I got knocked out. I don't remember anything. I don't remember him getting his hand raised. And it had to have been 40 minutes to an hour. And then my first recollection is being in the ambulance and seeing my mom's face.
Can I tell you that? Can I tell that story?
Yeah. Tell me what I did, because I still don't know.
So we're in the ambulance, okay? And
well, you were in there too. You were in there too. Thank God.
I was sitting
you were there when I
with you.
came back.
Your mom's standing outside the back doors, and we're waiting for the driver. There's a medic in there with us, but he's good. But he keeps asking the same question over and over.
I still don't remember any of this.
And I'm worried about, like, everybody's parents are different on how they react, And his mom was just cool. Just like, I was so impressed. I was so impressed with her just spirit of seeing that happen. But Justin's laying there, and he's like, he's cool in everything he does. So he's got like this cool like lay, like he's like just got stopped, and he's laying there, and he's like, he'll look at me, and he gets like his head. He's like, I got knocked out, and I was like, yeah.
It's like 40. This is like 40
He's like,
minutes
what
later.
round? What round? And I said, last second of the fight, and he goes, good for him. Dude, then it would, like, dude, I'm telling you, like 2 minutes would go by, and we'd just be having a normal conversation, and he'd look at me. I get knocked out, and I was like, yep. Dude, it happened over and over and over.
You've had that happen with fighters.
Yes,
right?
but him saying, good for him. The way he said it every time that he came back to it, like, that's the type of person Justin is. Like, if he loses in competition, the better man won that night. And that, to me, is something that stands out to me.
That's character.
Character of him saying when he does it, that's subconscious traits that you have.
That character is also the character that allows you to reach your full potential.
Absolutely.
Because you're not being held back by any bullshit ego things.
It's not fake.
Because there's a lot of people that are held back. As good as they are, they don't ever reach their full potential because they have some bullshit ego problems.
Absolutely. They care of what everybody thinks.
And in that situation, losing that fight in the last second of the last round and having that reaction, that is the truest test of character that a man is ever going to go through.
Yeah.
That is as true a test of character ever. In front of the whole world.
What I remember first is seeing my mom's face, though. I saw her face, and I saw no concern. She was worried.
She was worried
about me, but she was not concerned.
She wasn't freaked out.
No, she wasn't freaked out at all. I was like, And that's when I
was
never reset and asked if I had got knocked out again after that moment. I don't think.
No. Once it happened for probably, I'd say you probably asked it 6 or 7 times, and then once then we were cool for probably 5 minutes before we went to the hospital. Then you're totally cool. The cool part about this, Joe, is those are some of my, and it sucks because he's taking a shot like this. But me as a coach and as someone that just loves fighting and loves the inspiration and what these guys do, is those are my proudest moments. Winning a fight like this, it was proud, and it, take it in. You're going, wow, this is a cool spot to be in, and you have to be grateful for it. But there's times where I'm caught smiling when my fighters are down, like when Kamaru got kicked, and I stood next to him with the biggest smile just because I'm like, dude, you went out on your shield, you were looking so good, and this is the way you stand up. Again, so important to me. Justin Salas one time with Tim Means. It was one of my proudest moments, just to see his subconscious. Like, I love the mindset of
hard
people.
knee.
Dude, Tim Means hits him with a knee, and he fights through it a little bit and takes another knee, and he goes down, and he's on the ground, and his right leg is still, like, moving, and he's, like, still punching, and he's out. And I'm like, dude, that's a fighting spirit. Like, there is no quitting. Like, you're fighting through being knocked out. And subconsciously, he's still in the fight, and his body is still reacting that way instead of shelling up and being like, I just got rocked, I'm going to shell up. I could not wait to get in the octagon, and they're, like, not trying to let me in. I'm like, let me just get over to him and sit next to him and put some ice on the back. When we stop guys, I'm always over to the other opponent first. To me, that's the coolest part, is being able to see someone go out there and do their best and then to watch them come back. And that's why I'm very excited to kind of see what happens with Ilya. This is going to be a hard one to overcome, but I hope he does, because he's that talented. If he takes the right lessons, that's going to be a super inspirational thing to overcome. It's going to be hard, but I sure hope we get to witness that.
I wonder if he's going to stay at 155. There are big guys at 155, and he wasn't that big for 45. You know, when you think about weight cutting in the modern era, like you're considerably bigger than him when you guys were standing next to each other.
I mean, that was a good discussion. I love hearing like, dude, that was a big moment. First of all, we can come back to that, but to hear people speak about those big moments, just raw, and you don't get it that often. Michael Block, a lot of people don't like him, and I don't even follow any of that, but he's like this golfer that, I guess he the U.S. Open. So he did really well in one of the golf events, and he was like just a regular, like a PGA pro at a clubhouse. They're good golfers. They teach people how to play golf, but they're not a competing as part of their, like, they're not the pros that you watch on TV. Anyhow, it's kind of like that. Damn, where was I going with that? What's? Oh shit. All right. Anyway, it'll come back to me. Oh yeah. Where's I going with that? Oh man. All right. Well, that escaped me. It sucks. Maybe it's time to just call it. Yeah. Probably so. Oh yeah. I'll call it, but I'm still gonna finish this out. Last tool I got to build is social media is just like killing my spare time right now with our business launching and making all the social media pages, and you got to post them and all that. You almost need a person to run that. So last night I built a program that I haven't linked up yet, but check it out. See if I can pull it up really quick. It's awesome. It's like having that social media person basically. And I think I even have a little icon, a little desktop icon now. So here we go. I'll show my desktop icons. There we go. And so this is all my like golf streaming stuff from, whatever. I use all these tools. Can't see it, but, and then this is everything I built for the business. And we're moving out of here finally into our office Monday. So this is the last time anybody, and first time and last time anybody's ever going to see this, but check this out. Where is it? Social Command Center, it's called. and it opened it up for me already. Look at this. So I think the way this will work is instead of on my phone having to, go and like, oh, this person left you a comment, and then you feel obligated to hurry up and respond, and you're trying to eat dinner, and then you're like, oh, now I got to check LinkedIn, and we got to get a post out of there, and we got to get a post out there every couple of days, this and that. It takes time. This thing will not only give you at a glance for each one of these, and like I had it add the little logo. That's the only thing I added to this. This was just something we built yesterday, and when I say we, Claude Code built this. One prompt, I believe. Anyway, it built this, and then you can also compose it'll do it for you too if you want, but it'll write whatever like you want to compose. You could have it create a picture and stuff like right here, generate branded. For instance, let's just say I'll do headline. I'll show you an example. I need to do something for meet the team. We got that coming up. Meet the team, right? Sit down. Meet the team. Subtext, one or two plain English sentences. So what I'll add to this, because I hate typing, is to be able to just audible with that. So I'll just have to remember to updo that, and that'll be quick and easy. It literally, I could do it right this second by just going to my Claude Code and just voicing it to them. So go to that particular project, which is a social slayer. I think I named it. What is it? Oh, there it is. Weird. Anyway, I'll just do that another time, and then civil engineering. Yeah, meet the team. Post as text. Sharpen sonnet. I haven't even used this. Only runs when you click. What's the post about? Some audible. Yeah. Let me. Man, if I could find this, I could improve it so much better. To where it could just be one prompt, like my tool set is on our site for the structural beams. It has a microphone and a prompt thing, and it'll fill all this out for you. So I'll add that, but optimize for LinkedIn, draft it. Okay, meet the team, Perron Engineering. Just going to draft it up. Yeah, it might cost me 5 cents to do this. It's worth it. What is this? Connection error? Really? So to fix that. It's weird. It's because we migrated our files. Yeah. Okay, easy enough. Oh yeah, we didn't plan to run this yet. So, but yesterday it did do the picture. So let's see if it works on picture. Oh man, I'm about to go. I normally do it in the Claude Code, but I'm not finding the darn session. Let's see it. For some reason. Oh, view all. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Found it. So tell it that. I revised the program to include a one prompt microphone button for the various sections. That way you could just put in a prompt and it automatically will fill out the rest of those fields using its best judgment and our brand and our like using the your learned what you call it. Okay, start there. But yeah, using our brand and our vibe, basically, for lack of a better term, which is a good vibe with our customers, and we want to do everything for them to make their jobs as easy as possible, and we want to do it quick. Add that microphone, okay? Also, it's not working with Anthropic. So put that into, that was a super long prompt that clearly shows that it's too late. So it's said got it, 2 things to fix and 1 big addition. The API fix. And I'll be back while this cooks.